Hey folks, Maverick Watch Reviews back here with another review. Today we have the Citizen EcoDrive Satellite Wave 100 meter solar quartz GPS chronograph, model number CC9020-54E. Now this is a new addition to the ProMaster line. And before I get into it, I want to thank Duty Free Island for this review unit. At Duty Free Island, you get duty-free, tax-free, and free worldwide shipping. Duty Free Island only sells 100% authentic watches, and they're simply a great bunch of folks to deal with. I've never had a problem dealing with Duty Free Island. Great prices, fast shipping, you really can't go wrong, so go over there and check them out. Now, as usual, we'll open this thing up, look at the fit and finish, the features and the functions, the build quality, and I'll give you my overall impressions of this new addition to the ProMaster line. Now, you have a typical Citizen box. Nothing revolutionary or new here. Here's the watch inside. And of course, with these GPS satellite wave watches, you get a very, very thick manual. And of course, it's also printed in multiple different languages. And of course, you get your international guarantee card. So there you go. So let's take the watch out. And as usual, I'll put all the specs on the left-hand side of the screen. And then we'll dive further into this thing. Now, there are a lot of specs on this watch. So I'm gonna try to squeeze everything I can on the left-hand side of the screen. You're looking at a 47mm super titanium case. It's 15 millimeters thick. It's on a 20mm super titanium bracelet. It's got the F900 movement in it. It's got a DLC coated case, which stands for diamond-like coating. It's also Duratec treated, which is a treatment process. It has a sapphire crystal. It's 100 meters water resistant, which is 330 feet. Of course, it has GPS timekeeping, a perpetual calendar until the year 2100, a non-screw-down crown, this isn't a dive watch, a power reserve indicator over there at the 9 o'clock sub-dial, a SMT indicator, which is kind of the world's way of saying summertime. We say daylight savings time here in North America, but the rest of the world says SMT, which stands for summertime. That's also over at the 9 o'clock sub-dial. You have a day indicator, again, at the 9 o'clock sub-dial. You have a 1.5 year power reserve, so if you don't charge the watch, for about a 1.5 years, it'll still keep running. But if you totally keep it out of light, it actually has a 5-year power reserve and power save mode, which is really cool. It also has a light level indicator, so the actual second hand will show the amount of light that the watch is receiving. It's got a dual time function. It has a date function down there at 4:30, which is really, really legible. I like that. It has insufficient charge warning, an overcharge prevention function, so you can't overcharge the watch. It has alarm function, and this particular version, just like all of the satellite wave GPS watches made by Citizen, is made in Japan. So there you go. Now, I'm not going to do a full review of this watch because it's basically identical to the functionality of the CC9015, the exact same watch, just a couple other added features on this thing. So I'm not going to do a full review of all the different features and functions. I'll actually put a link in the description field for my other review of my other satellite wave GPS watch, again, which is the 9015. And I'll go ahead and put a picture on the left so you know which watch I'm talking about. So there you go. There's the 9015. Again, these watches are identical in functions. I mean, exactly the same. The only difference is this watch in 9015 is the fact this is overall bigger. It has the addition of the slide rule on the outside of the bezel here, and some changes on the dial of the watch. Of course, you have some orange hands on some of these sub dials, and you have the 24-hour sub dial at 6 o'clock and the function dial at 3. So you can see those hands are different on those two different sub dials. Everything else in this watch is identical. There are different, there's different writing. Of course, you have the writing on the outside slide rule right there. You have more writing on the inner bezel, and then you have more writing on the inner chapter ring. So there's a ton of more writing and numbers on this dial. Only problem is this thing is really, really cluttered. It's really, really hard to really kind of look at it and read because there's so many numbers all over this dial. Luckily, the hour and minute hands are still very legible, and it's still pretty legible, but with the addition of the slide rule function and all these extra numbers printed on the slide rule, the bezel, and the inner chapter ring, it does make the watch awfully cluttered to look at. Same great, titanium case, same great titanium bracelet. I mean, it's built like a tank. This thing is a very, very well-built watch, very comfortable to wear. And you can also see on the bezel here, it has these extra little grip sections for the slide rule, as you can see right there. But those are really the major changes. They're just cosmetic changes. Again, all the functions between this and the 9015 are absolutely identical. Same fast time reception. I mean, it's a fantastic watch. Fantastic watch. I like it. And again, you know, the orange highlights. You can see right here, this little orange area. This is actually gradiates from kind of small to thicker. This is actually for the light level indicator. Let me see, I'll demonstrate that for you real quick. So you pull the crown out, the second hand goes down to 6 o'clock, you rotate it, and you'll see the subdial at 3 o'clock move. Now that's the light level indicator. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop it back in. Now, what's gonna happen is, actually, let me pull it back out. It should be doing light level indicator. I think I actually have to press the button. Here we go. Yeah, there you go. So now if you see it, the second hand is going to move with how much light that it's getting. The closer I get to the studio light, the second hand is going to move more. If I tilt it away, you'll see the second hand goes back to 12 or 1. If it's totally facing the light, that second hand ought to jump. Well, I can't get it close enough to the light, but it'll jump all the way down here. So there you go. And then after you do that, it'll go back to regular timekeeping. It should go back to regular timekeeping here in just a second or two. You'll see the second hand start to move normally. There you go. So that's a neat little function, and that's one of many neat little functions on this watch. Anybody that's seen the review for the 9015 knows all about this watch, and that's why I'm not doing a full review of this. Simply because I've already done it before, and two, it would take a very long time to go over everything this watch can do. It's just a technological powerhouse. I love these satellite wave watches from Citizen. Just fantastic made, very good looking, although this one, again, like I said, it's really cluttered looking. And, I mean, just comfortable bracelet. Just take a look at the bracelet a little bit more. Of course, you have the scissor clasp there. And again, this is all in titanium, Duratec treated. Just a fantastic watch. Let me go ahead and try this thing on. And it's got a lot of wrist presence. Really good looking watch. Again, just for me, it's just a little too cluttered. There's just too much going on the dial and slide rule and other bezels. There's just too much going on for me personally. And whereas the 9015, it's not nearly as cluttered because it doesn't have all these extra slide rule bezels and printed numbers on the inner chapter ring. It just doesn't have all that stuff. So there you go. All right, let's go ahead and test the Lume on this thing. God, these watches are really comfortable to wear. I wasn't a big fan of titanium before, but I really am now. So let's go ahead and kill the studio light. Let's go ahead and zap this thing with the old trusty mag light. Normally I zap this for about 5 or 10 seconds. That gives it enough of a charge to kind of show you what the Lume is like. So there you go. That typical kind of cold cathode blue that Citizen likes to use. Again, it's not going to be Lume Bright, that's for sure. But I mean, it gets the job done. So I like the color. I really do like that color. So there you go. So folks, that's been about it. You can get this over at Duty Free Island for $1,050. These are not inexpensive watches at all. This really is an investment. But if you want the absolute most accurate watch on the planet, this is it. This and the 9015, any of the satellite waves from Citizen or the Astrons from Seiko, those are going to be the absolute most accurate watches on the planet. And you never have to worry about them. They automatically set themselves. When you go into another time zone, they will automatically set themselves there as well. Just fantastic. Again, technological powerhouses. That's what these watches are. So anyway, if you like this video, please click on like. If you want to subscribe to my channel, please do so. I really do appreciate each and every subscription, and I also appreciate all your comments too in the comment section. So keep those comments coming. And again, this has been the Citizen Eco Drive Satellite Wave 100 meter Solar Quartz GPS Chronograph, model number CC9020-54E. And until the next review, I will see y'all later. Take care. Bye-bye.